Great June 24th, Wednesday. To God be the glory for yet another beautiful summer day in 2020. It's so funny, I was running here and this lady stopped me and she said, "Are you Mia?" And I was like, "Huh? I'm Michelle." And she's like, "Oh yeah, there's this lady on social media who runs and blah, blah, blah." And I was like, "Oh, nope, that's not me." But I said I would look her up. Listen, I am not a social media bunny. I'm just being obedient. The Lord said things that I've been doing all for a decade or so. Now it's time to share it with others so that they will experience their best lives now and they can make impact for the kingdom. I was on a conference call yesterday and I was like, the problem with the schools today, and I know we're going to take a vote, and I said, listen, I believe it's up to the individual school, the local school council, to make decisions if they believe that they should have CPD and CPS, even though it's a $33 million contract. But some of these schools are massive as far as trauma. And I do believe that there needs to be an influx of case managers and psychologists and therapists. But in some instances, I do believe that officers need to be present in the schools too. And the Lord will be glorified if we look to Him for wisdom. Well, we're in a brand new book. We finished Ezekiel, and remember, it was talking about a new temple, the vision that the Lord was giving Ezekiel. He had so many visions throughout that book, but now we're in Daniel, and we know that the people of Judah were taken into captivity, into Babylon, and the new king, Nebuchadnezzar, was like, I want 4 young people, including Daniel, to serve. And I want them to learn our customs. I want them, in verse 4, to be well-favored, skillful, attractive, strong, and very smart in knowledge, understanding science, literature. And the Lord had it so that these 4 teenagers were chosen, and they gave them new names: Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. But a lot of us know them as Meshach, Abednego, and Shadrach. Yeah, we know. But something that I was thinking about as far as the teenager in my life, a young man, sometimes I'm like, oh my goodness, Lord, you're going to have to pull and pull it out of him and pour your spirit of discipline and energy. And the Lord said, Michelle, I will handle that. And I was overhearing his professor, my son's professor, online today, and she was saying how she has a big library too of over 5,000 books. But she was saying that her 4 sons never would touch those books, never would read those books. And I concurred. I felt the same way. But the Lord said that when you give your children, your teenagers, your students in CPS or wherever they are, if you give them as a sacrifice and they learn to do things on their own, that they can deny their flesh, not eat the king's meat and wine, and they will come out fairer and more knowledgeable and skillful 10 times more, in verse 20, than all the astrologers and magicians in the world. So give your children, your teenagers, your students to the Lord, and watch God do great, magnificent things for His glory. Have a wonderful Wednesday in the Lord.